Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. The Miami Dolphins are at a crossroads as rumors about star cornerback Jalen Ramsey's future continue to swirl. For months, speculation has intensified since general manager Chris Grier openly stated in April that the team plans to move on from Ramsey. Such a candid admission has sent waves through the NFL, stirring interest from multiple franchises eager to acquire one of the league's premier defensive backs. With the offseason underway, Miami faces a delicate balancing act: how to replace a player of Ramsey's caliber while keeping the team competitive in the fiercely contested AFC East. The Dolphins roster does feature promising talents like Kader Kohou, Storm Duck, and Cam Smith, all poised to take on bigger roles. However, given Ramsey's immense impact on the field, relying solely on internal options could be risky. The urgency to find a proven cornerback before training camp is clear, and the trade market might just hold a key to strengthening Miami's defensive secondary. Enter Jalen Watson, a player whose name has recently surfaced as a prime candidate to fill the potential void left by Ramsey's exit. Watson, currently with the Kansas City Chiefs, offers a compelling blend of experience, youth, and championship pedigree. A two-time Super Bowl winner, Watson has shown flashes of brilliance and resilience throughout his career. Drafted in the 7th round in 2022, Watson worked his way up from a role player to a starter, demonstrating a strong work ethic and impressive growth. Despite a serious injury last season, a broken ankle, he returned for the playoffs, including a start in the Super Bowl, underscoring his toughness and ability to perform under pressure. These qualities make him an intriguing target for Miami, which could use his skills and winning mentality in the secondary. The Chiefs, on the other hand, have been making moves to reshape their cornerback room, which explains why Watson might be available for trade. Kansas City signed Christian Fulton in free agency and also brought in draft pick Noah Williams, adding depth and competition to the position. Meanwhile, All-Pro cornerback Trent McDuffie is expected to command a hefty salary on his 5th-year option, pushing the Chiefs to think strategically about managing their payroll and roster. With Watson approaching free agency, the Chiefs may prefer to trade him rather than risk losing him for nothing. This scenario creates a rare window of opportunity for the Dolphins to swoop in and land a talented player with starting experience and Super Bowl know-how, potentially smoothing the transition if Ramsey departs. Watson's journey from a late-round draft pick to a key contributor on championship teams is a testament to his perseverance and talent. Over his 3-year NFL career, he has amassed 114 tackles, 1 interception, and 2 sacks. Solid numbers for a young cornerback still carving out his niche. Although he spent much of his rookie and sophomore seasons as a role player, appearing in games but starting sparingly, his impact was undeniable when given the chance. One of the most memorable moments came early in his rookie year, when he intercepted a pass from the Chargers' Justin Herbert and returned it 99 yards for a touchdown on primetime Thursday Night Football. Plays like this highlight Watson's playmaking ability and potential to change the momentum of games. The 2024 season was set to be a breakout campaign for Watson, with Chiefs head coach Andy Reid naming him a starter at the outset. Unfortunately, injury derailed those plans after just 6 regular season games as Watson suffered a broken tibia and fibula, a brutal setback that landed him on injured reserve. Yet, demonstrating remarkable resilience, Watson returned in time for the playoffs and contributed in key matchups, including the AFC Championship game and Super Bowl LIX. His ability to come back from injury and still perform at a high level speaks volumes about his determination and physical conditioning, traits that would be invaluable to any team seeking defensive stability. For the Dolphins, acquiring Watson would mean bringing in a player who not only has experience in high-pressure situations, but also fits a competitive culture shaped by recent success. Miami's defense has been evolving, but a proven cornerback with Super Bowl credentials could elevate their secondary and help shore up weaknesses. The combination of Watson's physical skills and mental toughness might provide a seamless bridge from the Ramsey era to a new chapter in Miami's defensive story. Moreover, Watson's versatility could allow the Dolphins to experiment with different defensive schemes, giving head coach Mike McDaniel more tactical flexibility. Still, the Dolphins' internal cornerback options shouldn't be overlooked. Kader Kohou, Storm Duck, and Cam Smith have all shown promise, with flashes of playmaking ability and growth potential. Should Ramsey leave, these young players are ready to step up and contribute more significantly. The question, however, is whether relying solely on developing talent is enough in a division where passing offenses are prolific and top-tier defensive backs are crucial. The trade for Watson could act as an insurance policy while the Dolphins nurture their young cornerbacks, ensuring immediate competitiveness without sacrificing future development. Financial considerations also play a critical role in this potential trade. Ramsey's departure would free up significant cap space, but the Dolphins must manage that wisely. Watson, approaching free agency, might command a more affordable contract compared to Ramsey's elite status, making the deal financially attractive. Additionally, the Chiefs' willingness to trade Watson suggests they see value in recouping assets now rather than risking a costly contract extension or losing him for free. This alignment of interest could lead to a mutually beneficial trade, where Miami upgrades its secondary and Kansas City gains draft capital or players to reinforce other areas. Looking ahead, the Dolphins' offseason strategy seems increasingly focused on reshaping the defense with smart, targeted moves. The cornerback position, a critical component of any defense, has become a focal point. With Ramsey possibly on his way out, the urgency to secure a reliable replacement grows. Jalen Watson, with his blend of experience, championship pedigree, and untapped potential, presents a promising solution. If Miami can execute this trade, it would not only address an immediate need, but also signal the team's commitment to staying competitive in a tough division. Ultimately, the narrative surrounding the Dolphins' cornerback situation illustrates the complex decisions NFL teams face in balancing talent, finances, and long-term planning. As Jalen Ramsey's future remains uncertain, Miami's front office must navigate the trade market carefully. The potential addition of Jalen Watson could be a game changer, offering both a fresh start and a chance to maintain defensive continuity. For fans and analysts alike, this evolving story is one to watch closely, as it could define the Dolphins' trajectory heading into the 2025 season and beyond. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the show comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? The NFL world is buzzing with one of the most shocking rumors of this offseason. The possibility that the Miami Dolphins have signed not just one, but two of the most dominant defensive forces in the league. Chris Jones and MAXX CROSBY. Yes, you heard that right. The whispers started quietly, as they always do, but now they've grown into a deafening roar across social media and sports talk shows. Imagine that defensive front. Chris Jones, a perennial All-Pro and Super Bowl champion, with the Chiefs lining up alongside MAXX CROSBY, one of the most relentless pass rushers in the game today. The very idea of it has sent Dolphins fans into a frenzy, dreaming of a defense so dominant that it could finally push Miami deep into the playoffs, or maybe even beyond. But let's pump the brakes for a moment and look at how this rumor even started and how realistic it actually is. First, let's talk about Chris Jones. The man has been the cornerstone of the Kansas City Chiefs defense for years, playing a critical role in their Super Bowl runs. His ability to disrupt the pocket, collapse offensive lines, and consistently pressure the quarterback makes him arguably the best interior defensive lineman in the NFL. But the Chiefs' salary cap situation has been tricky, to say the least. With Patrick Mahomes' mega contract and a slew of other stars demanding big paydays, Kansas City has had to make some tough decisions. The whisper suggests that Jones might be looking for a new challenge or perhaps a new contract that fully reflects his value. Enter the Miami Dolphins, who have been quietly but aggressively building one of the most talented rosters in the league with cap space and the ambition to make a major statement. Then there's MAXX CROSBY, the heart and soul of the Las Vegas Raiders defense. Crosby's journey from a fourth-round pick to an all-pro edge rusher has been nothing short of inspiring. He's known not just for his physical gifts, the freakish combination of speed, strength, and motor, but also for his leadership and relentless work ethic. Over the past couple of seasons, Crosby has terrorized opposing quarterbacks, racking up sacks and tackles for loss at an elite rate. But the Raiders, like the Chiefs, are facing their own financial dilemmas and questions about the direction of the franchise. Some reports suggest that Crosby might be seeking a team with a clearer path to contention, and the Dolphins, with their young core and playoff aspirations, could be the perfect landing spot. The potential pairing of Crosby and Jones is almost too good to be true. So how did this rumor even start? It began with a few cryptic tweets from NFL insiders noting that the Dolphins were in heavy discussions with multiple elite defensive players. Then came the Instagram story from a Miami-based trainer showing what appeared to be Chris Jones working out in South Florida alongside none other than MAXX Crosby. That image alone sent the rumor mill into overdrive. Could it be that both players are vacationing together? Sure, but could it also mean that they're preparing for a new chapter in Miami? Absolutely. NFL players often train in popular off-season hotspots, but the fact that both defensive stars were seen together in Miami has fueled speculation that there's more to the story than just some casual workouts. Adding fuel to the fire, Dolphins general manager Chris Grier was recently spotted at an exclusive South Beach steakhouse with the agents representing both Jones and Crosby. Now, that could be purely coincidental. After all, agents often have multiple clients. Miami is a popular destination for NFL executives this time of year. But when you combine that with the previous sightings, the social media hints, and the Dolphins' known desire to bolster their defense, it starts to look a lot more like smoke coming from a very real fire. Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel has made no secret of his desire to build a championship caliber defense. And pairing these two superstars could be the move that finally puts Miami over the top in the hyper-competitive AFC. If these rumors are true, the strategic implications for the Dolphins would be massive. Chris Jones would provide elite interior pressure, collapsing pockets, and freeing up the edge for players like MAXX Crosby to feast. Crosby, on the other hand, would command constant double teams, opening up opportunities for other defensive playmakers on the roster. This duo could instantly transform Miami's defense from a solid unit to an absolutely terrifying one. The AFC East already boasts some of the best quarterbacks in the league, Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers among them. And having Jones and Crosby on the field at the same time would give the Dolphins the pass rush prowess to disrupt even the most talented offenses. Of course, there are skeptics who argue that this is all just off-season hype with little basis in reality. They point out that fitting both Chris Jones and MAXX Crosby under the salary cap would require some serious financial gymnastics from the Dolphins' front office. Miami would likely have to restructure several contracts, possibly move on from some veteran players and get creative with signing bonuses and guaranteed money. But in today's NFL, we've seen front offices pull off seemingly impossible moves before. Look at how the Rams assembled their Super Bowl winning team, or how the Eagles built one of the deepest rosters in the league. If the Dolphins leadership believes that this is their window to compete for a championship, they might be willing to go all in. There's also the question of whether Chris Jones and MAXX Crosby themselves would want to team up in Miami. Both players are used to being the focal point of their respective defenses. Would they be willing to share the spotlight? On the surface, it seems like a no-brainer. Join forces, dominate together, and chase a Super Bowl ring. But egos, personalities, and contract details always play a role in these decisions. From everything, we know both Jones and Crosby are consummate professionals who care deeply about winning, so the idea of pairing up to create an unstoppable defensive force might actually appeal to them. Plus, Miami's vibrant culture, favorable tax situation, and competitive roster only add to their allure. As the story continues to develop, Dolphins fans are understandably on edge, refreshing their Twitter feeds, scouring Instagram for any new clues, and dreaming of what could be. The idea of seeing Chris Jones and MAXX Crosby in aqua and orange is almost too exciting to process. Could this be the boldest move in franchise history? It certainly has that feel. For a team that's been knocking on the door of contention, but hasn't quite broken through. Adding two of the league's premier defenders could be the catalyst for a new era of Dolphins football. Whether or not the rumor ultimately proves true, it's clear that Miami is signaling to the rest of the league that they're serious about winning now in the end, whether Chris Jones and MAXX CROSBY actually sign with the Dolphins or this all. Now, it turns out to be a spectacular case of off-season speculation. One thing is certain, Miami has officially entered the conversation as one of the most ambitious and aggressive teams in the NFL. These kinds of rumors don't emerge out of nowhere. They're often based on at least a kernel of truth. And even if this specific scenario doesn't play out, the Dolphins have shown that they're willing to swing for the fences. For a fan base that's been waiting decades for a return to glory, that kind of boldness is exactly what they've been craving. Stay tuned, because this story is far from over and the next big headline might be just around the corner. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up!